Okay, first we find the intersection really carefully. I suggest extra accuracy, and remember you can name it. And use that name, but definitely use extra accuracy in your calculator. It doesn't do any harm. It takes half a second extra, and your final answers need to be good to 3 places. Top minus bottom, math 9. Don't write math 9, just do it. And again, you get 5, if it's 0.0005 or more, you get 2 choices. You can truncate or you can round. So sometimes they do make it a little bit easier to not be too worried about accuracy. Okay, for this one, let's see. Yoink, bit. I've got 2 radiuses. Always set it up. Revolve means this, yes? Okay. And notice if you draw horizontal radiuses, you need to change everything into f of y's, which would be difficult with this one because of the cubic. The bounds are only determined by the region. They're not determined by what you're doing. Outer is from thingy down to 0. Inner is from 3/4 x down to 0. Again, remember the 0 is technically in both squares. They don't really care. Notice the truncation and the round gave the same answer this time, so you don't get 2 choices. It's not round up or round down. It's only truncate or round down.
Round up.
Okay, perimeter. There are 3 chunks to this perimeter. Only one of them is arc length. That is the arc length part. But there's 2 other chunks. Let me color them in blue. This chunk and that chunk. Okay, so the arc length one is, and again, arc length in 1 dimensional is not dx dt squared. It's 1 plus dy dx squared. How long are the 2 side chunks? Well, you have to figure out where does this hit, so you know how long this blue line is. This one hits at 1 to 0, so that line is length 1. This is going to be a Pythag. Nobody did that. Square root of 1 squared plus 1.94041 squared for the diagonal. The straight line diagonal is just Pythag. Okay. So 1 plus derivative of that function is just going to be 4 minus 3x squared. Don't forget the extra squaring, and you don't evaluate it. Okay. Point values. This is 3 points. 1 point for the bound, 1 point for the setup. Don't square things for area. 1 point for the answer. 3 points here. 1 point for the pi, 1 point for the setup, 1 point for the pi and bounds, I guess. 1 point for the final answer, and this is 3 points. 1 point for the non-arc length part, and 1 point for the arc length part, and 1 for the derivative of the inside. So 2 points for the arc length. If you don't get arc length at all, you just get 1 point. But make sure that you add the straight line parts. It's not just the single arc.